after a 25-year break from racing. And at 63 years old, this four-time Olympic athlete decided to take up running once more and broke a record in the process. Take a look.
Wow, so impressive. Joining us now in the studio is Olympian, motivational speaker, fitness coach, author, and business leader from the Lehigh Valley. I'd like to welcome Joetta.
Hi.
Joetta, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Grover.
Great.
Nice
You
to have
are quick, to say the least.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So, Joetta, where did you find the motivation to, after 25 years of not hitting the track, strap on those shoes again and take to the field?
That's a good question. My daughter Talitha wanted to see me run. When she was born in 2002, I had retired after my fourth Olympic team. And she would say, Mommy, I want to see you run. Been busy with life, but then that year, which was 2025, she said, guess what? The USA Nationals are going to be in Gainesville, Florida, when my daughter was in school getting ready to graduate in Gainesville, Florida. My father, the late, great Dr. Joe Clark, lived there, and he was buried in Gainesville, Florida. I said, okay, that's where I'm going to go. Gainesville, Florida, I'm going to put on my spikes and run a Masters event.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
How did that feel, crossing the finish line, knowing that you just set an American Masters record?
Well, that's funny because I did not know that. All I knew that I barely won, and I ran the 200 meters, which is way shorter than what I used to run. I'm a half miler, so I would normally run around the track twice. But for this event, I only ran 200 meters. And I'm not really that fast. Well, when I was an open athlete, but for the Masters, I am fast. So I'm going to stick at the 200 meters. It felt great to win and to have my daughter in the audience, to have the college kids that I cheer for me. My coach was there. My friend flew down. It was a wonderful time.
Yeah, it looked like you were, I mean, I know you say you're not fast now, but
Yes.
I mean, you were feet in front of other people
Yes.
who were racing that day, so that
Yes.
is quite impressive. And you talk about your daughter, who's also a storied athlete.
Yes.
And so how did she encourage you to do this? And you know, what were her thoughts afterwards once she learned that you hit that world record?
Well, she was there. And she encouraged me by saying, Mommy, I know it's cold up in Pennsylvania. Get out there and run and work out. So I did that. So she was encouraging that way. But she got some T-shirts made. They call me Mama Joe. And so the T-shirt said, Go Mama Joe. And everybody had on these orange and white T-shirts. So she encouraged me by supporting me, and the tables turned. Normally I'm cheering for her. This time she was cheering for me.
Joetta, I do want to ask you, you know, as we get older, it gets easier to not stay in that exercise routine.
Yes.
And so how do you know, work yourself up motivationally, but also the strength as you get older to maintain that strength and that speed?
Well, Brittany, that's a good question because fitness is a lifestyle. For me, I've been able to maintain a relatively good fitness regimen. And as I've gotten older, I don't do as much as I used to do. I don't do all the distance runs, but I run, I jog, I do hill workouts, I do jump rope. When it's cold here, I go inside, I run up and down my stairs. But the thing is that you have to remain active. And as we get older, however, you have to work on mobility as well. And a lot of times I walk backwards, I do backwards lunges. When you get older, you're afraid to fall. Wow. And I want to make sure that if I do fall, I have some strength in my muscles.
Wow, I am actually out of breath just from that description.
Grover, that's not good.
No, that isn't. So what did you learn from this whole experience? What's the lesson?
The lesson for me is that age has no limit, and neither does fitness. And no matter what you can want to do, you may not be an Olympic champion. That's for a select few, but you can be the champion of your life. And so at Joe Time Fitness, we have a company called Joe Time Fitness. We talk about being fit at the age that we are now. So we all have our AARP cards now. So for people that have that card, it's about being fit and realizing that hydration, stretching, working out, mental toughness also, no excuses.
Right.
Joetta, I have to ask, what's next for you? Is there another race coming down the line?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Brittany, because last year I ran for my daughter, and they thought that I would not come back out again. Oh, she's just going to do this and go away, set these records and go away. My coach and I have been talking, yes, and guess what? I'm going to put my spikes back on again, but this time it's going to be for me. So I'm going to do a lot more races for the Masters. And it's not about getting records, but it's about meeting new people. And it's funny, a lot of the people that are in the Masters, they remember me as an elite athlete because they're my age. And they come over, they fan, they're excited to see me, but I get encouragement from them. They're 70, they're 80, they're 90 years old, and they're staying active, and that's a great thing.
Joetta, your passion, your motivation, it's incredible. Your energy is just amazing.
Right.
Keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing wonderful things, and we get to claim you as our own here in the Lehigh Valley.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Thank
And
you.
that motivation is contagious.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Joetta, thank you for joining us.
Thanks
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. Thank
Great
you.
to meet you.